In this video, we're going to be looking at hidden camera footage of two dating coaches showing themselves, showing off their skills, if you will, showing them approaching women and, trying to seduce them. This is a series that I'm bringing back. It was a very popular series on my channel called the Coach versus Coach series, where you get to see the contrast, you get to see the difference between some of these guys who are legitimately terrible with women. They have no game and they give pickup a bad name. There's a reason why people think it's creepy and it has a bad reputation, because some of them are. Some of them are. Despite that, there are other guys who are legitimately very good with women, very charismatic. They give women an amazing experience. And in this series, we're going to separate those two. You're going to see the difference. And you also get to learn a lot about what a good interaction looks like, what kind of things you should be doing versus what a bad interaction looks like and what you should avoid doing. So this is an extremely informative series to watch. In this one, we're going to be going over Austen Summers and James Tusk. They both have a similar amount of subscribers. They both have tons of infield on their channel. And we're going to see if these guys are legit or if they are, crap. So we're going to see if they are essentially frauds.
Sorry, excuse me. You can't look at me like that and not say hello. That's awful.
Sorry, I was in a hurry. Hello.
Hello.
So that's actually a great opener, right? It's very cocky, it's very bold, and it's sexual, but it's blaming the sexuality on her, right? He's accusing her of hitting on him. Now, whether or not she actually was checking him out, that's besides the point, but it's a really good opener if you can hold the frame, right? If you don't get reactive, you don't apologize. If you can keep it going, that is a really, really good opener.
Yes.
With a very firm handshake.
Yes.
James.
Important.
With an equally.
James.
Well, it depends. It depends if you're meeting someone in a business context or for pleasure, I think.
Well, I think a softly handshaking either is not acceptable.
That's true. So you work as in the corporate sphere, I can tell.
Really?
PR?
So he's getting in very close, which, if the girl seems very comfortable and very receptive, which she does, is a good thing. Now, as soon as she gets tense or pulls back, then you want to create space too. But you also, like a lot of guys, they don't go in strong enough and the girl doesn't feel your presence. She doesn't feel your energy. So being in close proximity like this is actually, in this particular scenario, is actually very good.
Something like this?
With jeans and a jacket like this?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No.
You clearly, on the other hand.
I actually work as a dustbin man, but I decided to dress up on a Friday and stop long-legged blonde girls like you.
Well, I was wondering if you found that in the trash.
That was good self-deprecating humor. I assume dustbin man, I'm British, they have the weirdest fucking phrases, but I assume that's like a trash guy. And because he looks classy, well put together, all those kinds of things, him making that joke, it actually makes him seem higher value and higher status because he's not self-qualifying. He's not trying to brag that he's a doctor or whatever. He's going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, oh, here we are. The reverse pickup line, I like it.
Oh, is this a pickup line?
That sounds like a reverse pickup line where you're actually
But if you
pushing
were
someone
reversing
away.
There had to be a pickup line to reverse in the first place.
You're the one that looks at me, so we can only
A look
assume.
is a look.
Excuse me.
So far, that approach by James Tusk was really good.
There was a bee literally just chasing me, like 50 meters, and I was like, holy shit, this bee is gonna eat me. And then I saw you with your dollar bag and you looked quite cute. What did you buy there?
So his opener, it was a little odd, like talking about a bee chasing me, but assuming it really happened, it was just what was in his mind, right? He's being completely organic and just saying what's on the top of his mind, which generally that is the best opener, right? It's not pre-planned, it's spur of the moment, it's spontaneous. And then he transitions when she's like, what's going on? He makes it clear that I'm interested in getting to know you. I'd also say he has a very resonant, deep voice, which definitely helps. And that's something you can cultivate. Because if you look at my older infields, my infields from like 2019, 2018, whatever, there's a noticeable difference. It's probably like an octave difference in my vocal tonality.
So you're like a new student at U of T, trying to get your life together?
Yeah, pretty much.
My name's Austen, by the way. I'll give you one of these.
Would you go to UT?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Okay. Well,
Am I just not allowed to walk on this beautiful street of Bloor? I'm guessing you study marketing,
no.
English.
Yeah.
So far this interaction, it's a little bit choppier than the James Tusk one. And I think that has a lot to do with the girl. This girl is the girl with James Tusk was very confident and very like, she's instantly going into the banter. This girl seems a lot more shy, a lot more reserved, but you can tell by the way she's reacting, by the tone of her voice. She sounds nervous, but not in a bad way, in a good way. She sounds nervous, like in a feminine, kind of attracted way. And so even though it doesn't look as smooth on the surface, it's still actually good because it's just her personality being more shy.
A look is a look.
And you must have looked back. So
I do like a girl who's tall because it's not a frequent occurrence in
you're
London.
not that tall, are you?
No. I'd say your size would be taller.
5'11"?
A little bit taller.
6.
But without heels, you're probably shorter than me.
5'10".
4-inch heels?
3.5.
3-inch heels? Yeah, about even then. So do you do that a lot? That's very forward. I liked how forward it is because I was having a conversation with my friend. I don't like to use social media to meet people. And women are quite shy, generally speaking. But that was a blatant look. So I quite liked it. I enjoyed it.
So this is good too. What he's doing is he's saying, I like when a woman is bold. I like when they're willing to put themselves out there and be openly attracted to a guy. He is doing the opposite of slut shaming, right? He's creating the frame that he likes a girl who is sexual, and that is going to make the rest of, his agenda, that's going to make seduction easier. So that's a really good frame that he's putting in the interaction.
You see someone you think is quite attractive.
Are you calling me hot? Is that what you're
I'm
doing?
saying quite attractive.
Only quite?
Don't build yourself up too much.
What would you give me out of 10?
Where are you from?
That basic. I look that basic and I said,
You look
white girl study
you look
English.
Russian. That's why.
No, I'm not Russian at all. Everybody thinks I look Russian.
Do you have an accent, or is it just you're like kind of early in the morning?
Fuck off. I don't have an accent. Basic. No, it's just early. Very early.
Yeah.
So you can tell she's reacting to him, right? He's like the oak tree and she's like the squirrel running around the oak tree. And that's the dynamic that you want in your interactions with women, at least, if it's sexual, because she's in the feminine role or the submissive role and you're in the dominant role. That is the number one sexual fantasy that women have, is a man who is dominant, who is unreactive. And a lot of guys, they're the one that is being overly reactive, overly submissive, asking for permission. And that just automatically turns most women off, unless they have blue hair and they identify as a they, them. So if that's what you're into, definitely be submissive.
Last time I was up this early, I think Pluto was still a planet. I've been waking up at like 2 every day.
It was a bit of a corny joke, but we all make those, right? I make bad jokes sometimes. It happens. It's not a big deal.
But last night I walked from here to Dundas Square. So I was like exhausted. Look at this. Why wouldn't they be?
7?
Only a 7.
I do not like that he asked her to rate him out of 10 because it's very self-qualifying, right? She's already complimented you, and now you're kind of sucking the fun out of the compliment. You're making it serious. You're making it logical, and you're setting her up to now put you down, right? You're setting her up. She's not going to be like, oh, you're a 10. Oh my God. Like, it's never going to fucking happen unless she's in love with you. And so you're kind of lowering your own value by doing that.
Look,
It's going to give you a 9.
Impressive. Oh no, don't put it up there too much.
Do you not rate yourself as a 9?
I'd say maybe an 8, 8.5.
Solid 8.5.
Yeah, let's go for 8.
And then he said, I was going to give you a 9. So now he's literally putting her on a pedestal, right? He's saying, I was going to put you as more attractive than you just said I was, which that's not a good dynamic to set.
Okay, so tell me, are you single or are you...
No, I just look at men, like that because I'm, collecting them. In my back pocket, actually.
In your back pocket? Must be a big back pocket.
Well,
Got a few in there.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Okay.
Are you single?
Grey area.
Ah, okay. So you're collecting in your
Bad answer.
back pocket as well.
Depends.
On who's asking?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
Terrible answer. So what he's saying here, depending on who's asking, I may be single or I may not. Well, what does that mean? He's basically saying I'm a cheater. I'm a liar, right? I am not to be trusted. These are not things that you want a girl to think. You do not want her to think that you're a liar who's a cheater who may or may not be single. That was terrible.
For you, I'm single. Absolutely.
Ah, okay.
are you judging?
For you, I'm single, but I might actually have a girlfriend who I'm going to be cheating on. Ho, 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 ho. That not fucking good.
What was your name again? I'm horrible.
I never even said it.
One thing I like about Austen Zinfield is he sounds very nonchalant. So he's like, "What's your name again?" I'm horrible. So he does have a resonant voice, which is good, but he's kind of laid back in a way that it leaves the girl room to chase him, right? He's not putting too much effort in the way, like he's not trying to impress her or win her over.
That's kind of Irish. Why does everyone think it's Irish? Why does everyone think I'm Russian?
Okay, well.
Tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm Austen. I'm in architecture. I play music.
Where do you study?
Ryerson.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous that you get to go to U of T. You get to go to one of the smarty pants schools. Have you been here yet? Oh wait, how old are you? 18. And are you like from Toronto or no? Oh my god, I have really bad memories of Windsor.
Why were you ever in Windsor?
Where do you live in London?
Close to here. Where do you live?
Down on Bermondsey Street.
Interesting.
Do you know?
I don't know.
Village East.
Oh, I do.
Opposite there.
Right.
And you?
So in terms of body language, it looks like he's holding very strong eye contact. Like I said, he's in close proximity. He is kind of backing her against a wall, it's just there's this unconscious discomfort with that. That's not ideal. I would be at more of an angle. You don't want a girl to feel like she's trapped, right? So I don't like that. And I also, his hands behind his back, it's a little bit feminine, a little bit submissive, but to be fair, because he's backing her against a wall, it kind of makes him seem less potentially threatening. So it's hard to say whether that's good or bad.
I'm not sure where that is.
It's the street that runs.
So, but you're charging off, you're going the wrong way.
No, I'm going to Canary Wharf.
What's the occasion tonight?
Dinner with colleagues.
A Tinder date with a Tinder date.
No, colleagues.
So he's reframing and saying that she's actually going on a Tinder date. And, he's making things more sexual, not letting it be too logical, too boring. So I'd say overall, that's a pretty good thing that he's doing there.
Definitely colleagues. Mm-hmm. Canary Wharf would be a really bad place for a Tinder date, wouldn't it, really?
Not on a Thursday, on a Friday, it'd be a bad place to go full stop because it's dead.
It depends if you like Motown at Boysdale, because they've got a really good band playing there tonight.
What type of music are you going for?
Motown.
Okay. Is this like, how would you dance to that?
So I'm an American, and I was living in LA for 6 months, and then I drove back here. And my friend, the guy who I was with, he had like a bong, he had like canisters of weed, but no weed in it. And just like all this weed paraphernalia. So like, okay.
I do want to say that as soon as it switches to Austen, I'm like less sleepy. Like the way James Tusk is talking, there's nothing bad about it, but it's kind of low energy, right? Like low energy Jeb. It's a little low energy, whereas Austen is a lot more engaging, right? It's partly just his vocal tonality, but it's overall the way he's speaking. It has more variety, more frequencies, more emotion. And so I'm instantly more engaged compared to James Tusk.
Okay,
which is obviously good, right? It makes you more intriguing to the girl. It makes you stand out, and it's giving her more value being around you.
You're gonna have to, they got us out of the car, they like handcuffed us. They're like, you're being detained, you're not arrested, but we're searching your car.
Oh, okay.
So we sat in a jail cell for like 2 hours as they searched our car.
So you were coming from Detroit?
Yeah. So that's my memory of Windsor.
Let's do it. But you like
Did you actually enjoy Windsor or no?
I don't plan on dancing.
You're not a dancer with those long legs on the dance floor.
It's Motown, It's my dancing skills are not particularly great. What about you? What would you dance to?
I look like a dying octopus that's been thrown onto land when I.
That's another good self-deprecation. I like that that visual. I look like a dying octopus. So that's a really good line because look, if you just say I'm a bad dancer, then it just kind of sounds lame. When you use self-deprecating humor about something that you're not genuinely insecure about, it can be really funny and it actually shows high status because you're not trying to appear cool. Right? You're willing to make fun of yourself. This is something the red pill gets wrong because they're often trying to look cool. They need to look alpha as opposed to being able to be playful, to let loose, and to just vibe with the girl.
When I try and move.
Okay, so I look like the octopus that's dead on the land, thrashing around.
So you're worse. You could actually be a worse dancer than me.
Yes, pretty likely that is the case.
But you're going to a venue with lots of dancing, right? So are you going to hover?
It's dinner and dancing.
But so you're going to hover on the outskirts, or are you going to sort of go in the middle and do a guy thing of like?
It's a real eclectic mix of people, so I don't think I need to worry too much.
Not after the automotive sector collapsed and everybody got laid off. That wasn't very fun.
Did you see like a bunch of your friends leave?
Yeah, now we have the highest unemployment rate in Canada.
That must have been tough for you.
Yeah, but now I'm gonna go to where I live, so it was nice to meet you.
I'm walking this way. Where are you going?
Right here.
What?
Look, right here.
Oh, okay.
Dinner is-
But on the real though, you do seem cool
Yeah,
with your attitude.
my attitude is pretty, strict right now because you just walked up to me on the street. So,
No, that's cool.
I don't know.
I feel you the same way. I got up at like 11 and I was just like, felt like I was gonna die. But you do seem cool.
Okay.
Have you been to Chat Time Tea before?
Yes,
Um,
I have been. Here, I'll give
Cool.
you my number. You text me.
is it spelled like this?
No. Oh,
I fucked it up.
you fucked it up.
But I do need to get a hustle on because I'm meant to be there in 20 minutes.
You are going to be hustling tonight, I can tell.
So, well,
That I
maybe.
can tell.
It depends.
Okay, well look, let's do it another time.
Maybe, although I'm not sure about the grey area thing. So when you figure that out, maybe I'll see you along here again.
I don't believe in fate.
Okay, so then I guess there's nothing.
Saying I don't believe in fate is like saying I don't believe in horoscopes. Yes, as men, we almost all know it's total bullshit. But guess what? That's like female crack, right? It's cracked for women. So saying I don't believe in fate, she's not going to want to agree with that, right? It's going to make things more logical, more argumentative, and it's not helping him turn around her resistance.
To believe in, and I have my way, and this was never fate, and
I can be. I'll take your number, drop you a message if you want to come out, come out.
So she's pulling away, right? She's actively pulling away, maybe, blah, blah, and then he's saying, well, give me your number. Give me your number. She's pulling away. That's not when you push forward, right? It's going to create more resistance. It's called, there's something called a compliance ladder, which means you're getting yeses and then you get more yeses. But there's the opposite as well. If you're getting non-compliance, resistance, whatever you want to call it, the girl's showing a lack of interest, you pushing more is going to give you more non-compliance. So that's very bad from a technical perspective.
when your grey area is cleared up,
I don't really understand.
the single grey area thing.
I'm dating.
Yeah, see, that was a horrible, horrible comment, and it ruined this entire interaction. Now he could still recover it here if he reframed it. He's either unable to do that or he does not want to do that.
People, but I'm not exclusive. Does that clear it up?
Close it up.
Okay, so let's do something another time.
How about you give me your number?
No, it's my job to chase, it's yours to resist. Let me take your number.
It's
If you don't want to, it's not a problem.
well, maybe I've not decided, so maybe that's why I want your number.
So yeah, exactly. I'll take your number, I'll drop you a message.
Well, no, because if I decide I don't want you to message, is that on my control?
No, you can't decide that. You can decide.
Okay, let's have a debate. Let's have a logical debate about whether I should get your number. That is not seductive, right? That is not charming. He is being anti-charismatic right here.
Not to reply or not.
I'm a fuck up.
Yeah,
This water was so good.
I'm glad you liked it.
So liquidy.
For the real, like the OGs out there, he's making a reference to RSD Julian, where he did a speech where he talked about how you can make anything sexual, including water. You can make it, this water is so liquidy, and it's kind of, I don't remember the whole fucking thing, but it's pretty funny. Did it really help the interaction? No.
Is that French? All right, au revoir. We'll figure this out on another day.
All right, so he's coming with receipts, which is great.
And as always, a gentleman never quite remembers what happens.
Let's come out. That's up to you.
Or I decide if I want to message you or not.
No, it's not your job to do that.
Well, then I guess that's that.
Have a nice evening. Okay, so you just see me.
Oh my God. All right, so it's interesting. It's kind of hard to review, to be honest. This is a tough one because James Tusk's initial approach was very strong. He did a lot of things right, but he literally, overall, what he did is there was a girl that openly checked him out and wanted him, and then he got her from there to a rejection, right? He made her lose attraction over time, which in a way it's kind of anti-black pill, right? This shows how bad game, how saying and doing the wrong things can lose attraction, right? The black pill, it's like they either find you attractive or they don't. If they find you attractive, it's going to happen. If they don't, well, no. If your game sucks, this is what happens. So he did do some good things, but overall, he literally made the girl reject him. And by the way, there's other clips that I watched. I can't make a 5-hour video reviewing all their footage, but I've seen him do this in other interactions as well. James Tusk, he goes very direct. He is really, his biggest strength is that he is good looking. He's in good shape. He dresses well. And those are things that, you can learn from to a degree, right? Maximizing your appearance. That's great. But in terms of game, he did a lot of things that are shooting himself in the foot. So he's someone who's intermediate, right? He's not a beginner. He doesn't suck. I'm sure he gets results. I'm sure he gets laid. But he does shoot himself in the foot. He does make a lot of tactical mistakes, and he has a fairly basic understanding of how to navigate the conversation to be charismatic and interesting and to make the girl more and more interested over time, because he did the exact opposite. He made her lose interest over time. So it was not very good. Now, Austen Summers' approach, it wasn't as good at first because the girl was kind of shy and he seemed maybe a little out of it, to be honest. Like maybe he was a little nervous about the fact that he was filming infield, which, it is nerve-wracking. But over time, the interaction is a lot smoother. He's a lot more engaging. And the girl kind of gave him a little tension or a little resistance, but he dealt with it so smoothly, so effortlessly. It almost doesn't feel like the girl was giving resistance, whereas James Tusk turned the resistance into it was nice meeting you, into a rejection. So overall, Austen Summers is a lot better. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And I know I'm reviewing other people's infield, and you might be thinking, where's your infield? Well, it's all over my channel, right? My infield's all over my channel. I'm not just critiquing people like, the guys on the couch who are saying, well, they should have passed here and done this play. The fuck do you know, right? I'm not that guy. I actually do have tons of infield myself. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, and let me know in the comment section, who do you want me to feature in the next coach versus coach video? And before we wrap up this video, I do want to quickly announce that my boot camps are filling up. I'm getting a lot more views on my channel. I'm doing 4 to 6 calls per day for people who are interested in boot camps, and more than half of them, about 75% of the people who do the calls, end up signing up for a boot camp, which means there's not a lot of availability, right? It's getting more and more pushed back. So if you're interested in in-person coaching, in me taking you out and showing you in person exactly how to approach women, pushing you to take massive action and helping you get more progress in one weekend than you've probably gotten in the last year, then make sure to click the link below to sign up for a free call to see if you're a good fit for the program. But keep in mind that in the near future, I'm going to be booked 4, 5, 6 months in advance. So now is the time to sign up and take a boot camp.